Wow, I have the power. I often feel like I do have the power when it is MOTUesday Night live. If you're watching this in the morning, it's okay. You can still watch. It doesn't have to be nighttime where you are. It just happens to be nighttime where I am. So welcome to the slaughterhouse. Look, I'm just going to be honest. I'm not often starstruck when it comes to meeting people on this show. It's happened on a couple of occasions, Sergeant Slaughter being one of them, Bob Breakin being another. Today, we have a very special guest. It's Adam from a podcast that I thoroughly enjoy called Battle Ram, a He-Man blog. We're going to go talk about that in just a minute. Before I do, let me bring on my co-hosts, the mighty Philator. How are you, Phil?
G'day, guys. Good to see you. Can you see me?
I can see you. Can you see me?
What an intro. Great intro, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Yep, I can see you. Awesome
Good.
intro as always. Good to see you. Bring it on.
Are we coming in loud and clear?
Best day of the week. Yep. All good, buddy.
Yeah. I'm starting to feel. I'm starting to wonder. All right. Let's bring in our other co-host, man, Atom Arms, Canadian Wonder. Bam, bam, bam. Adam.
What's happening, folks? This is it. It's MOTUesday, the day we eagerly waited for since last Tuesday. It's right. We're having a good run of no breaks for a while.
Yeah. If anyone was wondering last week what the intro was supposed to look like, I hope they saw it today.
That's right. I love
right, so
works on my channel.
We're on a time crunch today. The legendary other Adam, and I say other Adam with great respect. I don't mean that disrespectful. We've got one Adam. We've got another Adam here, bringing in the star of the dough. The star of the I'm tongue-tied, guys. I got to tell you, I'm starstruck. The star of the show, Adam from Battle Ram blog. How are you, buddy? Welcome to Beat Force.
I'm here. I'm awake.
We appreciate it. You know, with that hat, I almost thought that you were a fan of Space Commander. I also have a hat that I liked. I just earned this hat. I'm a cadet, a space cadet from Space Commander.
I haven't earned that rank yet.
Not yet? Oh, that's fine. Let's say a quick hello to the chat, and then we'll get into the show. So we've got Joe Recondo, channel member, is here. MOTUesday, good morning, everyone, or good evening from us. WJ, how are you, friend? He spells all his letters with the letters. Yeah, he gets it. David, how are you, friend? Good to see you, buddy. The RetroTinker says, "G'day, legends. It's Tuesday night. I've got a hot Milo, and I'm ready to talk Motu. Let's frickin' do this."
Legend.
Podcast from the pit, Casey Wheeler, the Wheeler and Dealer. How are you, buddy? No offense, but Cringer is a crybaby kitty cat. Oh, I don't know about that. He might be called Cringer, but I've seen him do some heroic stuff. He-Man coming from Matthew Comstock. Oh yeah. I'm with you there, buddy.
The man
in He-Man. I'm waiting to see. Oh, here we are. Jewel Who 9, the best of the Jewel Who's, and Rolando is here. Hello, and Cutthroat Comics. What's up? 4:02 a.m. That is early.
Largo.
We appreciate you guys getting up early. Chat Champion Classified. We're starting to think whether there's something going on between Classified and Space Commander lately in the chat. Does anyone else notice that, or is it just me?
I just know that you have a history of making Mrs. Space Commander mad, so I'd be careful.
Yeah, true. I retract it. K-Dog Broadcasting is also here. It's 4 a.m. there too. Ooh, well, thanks for joining us, buddy. Keep on collecting, or no, it's too early. I haven't gone long enough into the stream to start abbreviating keep on collecting, but good to see you, bud. All right, let's get into the show. Adam, I want to say, first of all, thank you very much for getting up on this early morning and doing Coke with us. I mean, drinking Coke with us. We have, each of us have enjoyed your blog. And there is often, with a blog, there's often an element that gets lost when it's not a video sort of form, where it's hard to put a face to a person, and you just sort of look at it as a piece, as a bit of information, and you don't often get to touch base with the real people behind it. And when I think blog, I think that's something that takes effort, it takes commitment, it takes passion. So what led you to the passion and to wanting to start a Masters of the Universe blog, and why Battle Ram?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, first of all, for the kind words and for bringing me on. I appreciate it all. So I didn't start it necessarily for anybody else or to try to, be necessarily informative. I'd been I'd reconnected with He-Man in about 2012, just because I had a son of my own. I was looking for toys for him on eBay, and I just thought, when I was a kid, I really loved He-Man. So let's see what's on eBay with He-Man, and that kind of led me down a rabbit hole. So I sort of connected with the online communities, started doing research. And there's just so much information that you can find out about the origins of these toys, and I found that all really fascinating. So I just started. I started it out as like a free WordPress blog just to keep track of what I was learning. For the most part, I just found out there was no way to remember everything if I didn't write it down. And then
True.
Yeah, I mean, and I still, honestly, like a lot of the stuff that's on the blog, I have to go to my own articles frequently because I forget what I put in them.
I feel you, man. I understand.
Yeah. So I think go ahead.
No, go on, please, by all means.
So I mean, people did end up finding it. People seemed to like it, so I just kind of started to promote it. And then where it started to really get a little deeper was at the time I still loved the Battle Ram as a vehicle, but at the time I was just really obsessing over the box art, the Rudy Obrero box art on the packaging. So then I reached out to Ted Mayer because he was on Facebook. He was the designer of the Battle Ram blog, and he's a very nice guy. He's very unassuming. He's very open to fans wanting to talk to him. So I did an interview with him, and that kind of was the first of many that I did with creators. It's just kind of snowballed from there.
So I think for me, the Battle Ram, the vehicle, I think it was the first time that I'd ever been introduced to something that could be more than just what it was. It became, I mean, a transformer was a transformer. We knew the gimmick, but with the Battle Ram, it was like intentional or unintentional. It became two iconic pieces that became one iconic vehicle, or the other way around, depending on how you think of it. We got a question straight off the bat, though. This would be interesting to find out your perspective on this, Adam. Is Skeletor King Randor's brother?
Yeah, it depends on the continuity, right? He-Man it's kind of like comics where there's a million continuities, and He-Man is no different. Starting from probably 87, where they kind of introduced that idea and the search for Keldor. Yes, he became, he was, from then on, he was King Randor's brother. In earlier canons, he wasn't. So, it just depends on which canon you're looking at.
So so at the end of it, because you started with the idea that you wanted to sort of get your son involved in Masters of the Universe, is he a fan of Masters of the Universe today? Did it stick?
He was from, like, I'd say the age of 3 to 7 or 8. And now he's 13, so he's more into video games and other hobbies. Whenever I get a new figure, though, I'll still, hey, take a look at this. This is really cool. And he's like, yeah, okay, Dad.
I think this next segment, I'm really looking forward to showing you, because I think you are your website, and you are probably the first thought I think of when I'm going Masters of the Universe, and you've probably seen just about everything to do with Masters of the Universe. So we've created something new for Masters of the Universe and what we call the Masters of the Universe. This is a figure designed for you. So this will be, we'd love your honest opinion on it too. So far, these are the characters that we've come up with in part of the universe, and each one of these figures represents a guest or an idea that we've had on previous shows. And when you gave, I'm going to just move myself to the bottom here so you don't get covered by chat when I bring chat up. But this here represents what we've done so far. Adam went and took your design ideas and came up with this character.
Nice. Yeah. I had a hard time visualizing what he would look like at the end of it, but yeah, that captures what I was looking for.
So when we ask people for their Motu universe designs, we get everything from highly detailed backstories to like a general, I don't know, mine's gonna play guitar. You know, like you gave us very specific parts and colors. It was very much, here's what I want, here's what's going to come to get down to. And I didn't know what it was going to look like, what the character was going to be. And then when I put it together, I was like, oh, he looks almost like a cross between a Motu character and the aliens from The Simpsons.
Yeah, that is true.
And so I was like, oh,
maybe from Mars Attacks, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and so I was like, he's definitely got to be like a space invader. So I gave him Invader. And I gave him Zodak's gun because I think Zodak is a cosmic warrior. And I think Zodak's people have been like feuding and battling with this race of people for eons through space. And so that's kind of where we came with the space invader theme. But I think yeah, you put together a cool figure here, my friend.
Awesome. Great. Well, great work actually realizing him, what he would actually look like. That looks great.
Yeah, I think, Adam, you've done a tremendous job, as always. And so Invader now stands proudly with the remaining Masters of the Universe characters. Yeah, that is brilliant. Awesome. What a lineup.
Thanks, guys.
So, Adam, what do you think of this lineup as far as the concepts for Masters of the Universe goes?
I think it's awesome. I'd buy it. I let's see what sticks out to me. I like the Faker with the Roboto and Trap Jaw parts. He's pretty cool.
Yep.
The Skeletor with the blue and the green.
That green is glow in the dark veins.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, they're all pretty awesome.
Speaking of,
hey Adam, can you remember the names of all the figures? Put you on the spot.
Me? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
The names of all these figures? No.
No, so these ones from the bottom starting
Here
with the Man at Arms. So it's Century Man at Arms, and then Wintor, and then we've got Power Glow Skeletor, and we got Eldorus, and then Blastor, and then Fixor, and going up is Invador, and then Meathall, and then the Mercenary, and then Maker, and then we have Muskull is the green guy with the skull. We've got Merfan, and then we've got Trap Skelly was the top one. So that's the rundown.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done. Pass the test. You passed the test.
I'd buy this line.
You know your figures.
Yeah, I think this is an incredible lineup. And go figure, Man Atom Arms. We couldn't do it without you, bud. And I appreciate you doing the hard work on putting all this together. When we first thought about doing something like this, it was never in my wildest dreams it would come up with something that looked so cool.
Just packaging it, so one day we can just go to Mattel and be like, here they are. Just cut me a check.
There you go.
So speaking of so cool, in the description below, I did put in the link for everyone to go and find out where to have a look at. And if I'm sure everybody here today has already seen and uses Battle Ram, a He-Man blog for a source of information. But if you will indulge us, Adam, if I go to the About section, we'll have a look at little Adam. Look at this little fella.
Back when I had hair.
Yeah. I think mine will go that way eventually. But I noticed there are some other notable credits to your name, including starting with the toys that made it. How cool is that?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't. There were some others they reached out to who actually made it on the show. I was more just background information. So I talked to a couple of the producers a few times. Just background information on origins of He-Man, people, original creators who they should reach out to, that kind of thing. And they were nice enough to give me a little mention at the end credits.
Yeah, I think for anyone to reach out to anyone for information must instantly be a source of a sense of validation and pride in the work that you've put in.
Yeah, it was nice. I'll admit I was feeling a little good about myself for a couple of months after that.
And then
it's such an influential show, isn't it? I'm sure it started thousands of new vintage toy collectors, that show.
I'm sure it is. Yeah.
So if you could tell us about the Mundo Masters. What is this? I've actually never heard of it.
So they are a Spanish, based in Spain. These guys do this magazine, and they do, they focus heavily on Masters of the Universe. So I've been in several issues. Some of them have been, they've just taken articles I've done on the blog and translated them into Spanish. I've done some new pieces just for them. So yeah, that's been, I think they've got 12, 15 issues now. It's a fun piece. It is in Spanish, so if you don't speak Spanish, you just have to enjoy the pictures. It's worth picking up.
Well, the art looks great.
That's the best looking Fisto I've seen in a long time. Look how awesome he looks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does look cool. Even Orko looks cool, and I'm a fan of Orko, but I've never seen him look so cool. Then we've got what part of this epic book did you have? What was your involvement in this one?
So initially, I did the interviews. So if sprinkled throughout the book, there are interviews with original Mattel folks. So I did all of those. Some of those are in my blog, and some of them I did just special for the book, and that aren't on my blog. So if you want to read them all, you have to get the book. I did the little fun factoids that you see with a lot of the toys, like fun fact, whatever about the toy, like Battle Cat was based on a previous piece of tooling in Mattel, whatever it is. There's a timeline of, significant dates through the development of all the toys. That's from my research. And then I wrote about half of the write-ups for the Motu Classics line, just because Dan had bitten off so much with the photography and the other write-ups. He just couldn't finish it all, so I helped out with that.
Again, another must have been a cool moment for that too, for them to reach out and get you to get involved in such a hefty book.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was the biggest project I've worked on. It was a lot of late nights and bleary-eyed writing and checking and rechecking. It was a big project.
So how about this, the Masters of the Universe book?
This one was a lot lighter. It was mostly just sort of, I didn't do the whole thing, but I was just, mostly fact checking for some of the vintage Motu sections. So I would just go through and, if I saw something that was unclear or maybe wasn't quite right, I would send them suggestions back, make some changes.
And this one, a reference in how He-Man mastered the universe.
Yeah, that's just I wasn't directly involved. I was just mentioned as a source that he used, and the author reached out to me just to thank me for the resource of the blog. So something I threw in there.
So it's again, it's a nice thing to get recognition, you know, credit where credit is due. But at the same time, we were I mean this with all due respect, but when reading through your blog, it is very comprehensive, it is very informative, but I never thought to put a person to the blog. Like, obviously I know a person's doing it, but am I the only one in thinking that it was when we did our last show, I think it was actually Phil's show, we're talking about your blog, and it was like, you know what, it is a no-brainer to reach out to an actual person that's doing this and have them on the show. Am I alone in thinking that it doesn't instantly occur to you to put a person to?
If I'm being honest with you, until I deep dove into the website, because for the longest time it was just my first search history. If I had like Man at Arms image or Real Blast image, you'd get the images come up, you click on it, and it would take me to the Battleground blog. And so I thought at first Battleground blog was just a clever name, and it was because to me it's the closest thing to a He-Man.com we have, where it's like, go there, all the information's there, it's clean, it's easy to access, it's very user friendly. And so to me it just seemed like, oh, this has to be the official He-Man website that I wasn't aware of until recently, which seems funny. But I was like, I just assumed it was a team of people, and it was presented as a blog because that is just makes it a little more relatable. And then quickly realizing that, Adam, you were it, like you were the team. So yet to not put a face to it, it's exactly right. They thought that was a team, and then when you said like we should have him on, it was like yes, 100% we should have. Yeah, wow.
It's a dude. It's a dude that does this.
That's a great name.
Right.
Adam, have you kept track of how many hours you've poured into that site? Like how many hours? I can't even imagine how many hours you've sort of slaved over that thing.
Yeah, it's a lot. I started in 2015 and it's still going today. There's, I think, something like 250 articles. The time for each one, anywhere from 5 hours to 15 hours, depending on how complex the subject is. So it's a lot of time.
A labor of love, huh?
Yeah.
And it really does. It really does show. Like I mean it when I say I'm in awe of a big fan, starstruck, because it is so well put together. I couldn't imagine the Slaughterhouse, the channel, was originally somewhere where I would just grab all the Sergeant Slaughter stuff and put it up there for my own liking. So I understand when you say I had all this information, wanted to put it somewhere. I'm the same way, only I'm nowhere near on the same level as your blog in as far as a comprehensive look into anything Sergeant Slaughter. It's just a bunch of random clips that I think are cool. But yours is very informative, very well put together. I'll stop gushing and let some of the other guys talk.
I think, too, the thing about the Battleground blog that is interesting to me is it's kind of an equalizer. So He-Man, like you said, Adam, you loved it as a kid, and you wanted to buy some toys for your son and have exactly the same story, like verbatim, word for word, exactly the same story. My son latched onto it a little more. He has a collection of Masterverse figures now, so he's all about Motu. But when you grow up loving something, you think, or you perceive yourself to be an expert, because it's not that we went out and learned about He-Man as a kid. We just knew. We watched the show. We had the toys. We loved the box art. So each one of us is like perceived in our own mind expert on the Motu that we know. And as a guy with his own channel and like a big Masters user collection, you're like, I gotta know Motu. Like I feel confident looking at stuff. And there's stuff on your blog that I'm like, oh, I never knew that, and just like variants and stories and different takes on stuff, and I was like, this is incredible. Like, there's more than one version of a half boot Skeletor. For the longest time in my mind, there was full boot and half boot, and that was the scoop. That is not the case. And because of your Battleground blog, I have a few half boot Skeletors now, so I can have one of each. But it's informative and costly to us sometimes.
Right. Yeah, it's been costly to me too, because sometimes as I'm researching, I'll find, oh, okay, I'm discovering this stuff too, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe I better buy that too.
Yeah.
So, what was the most surprising thing then that you weren't aware of, and then in your study found?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, like sort of the circuitous history of He-Man, like what, just what He-Man came out of, and how the players involved. For a long time, there were rumors like, okay, was He-Man supposed to be? Was it just like Mattel wanted to do a Conan line, and they just at the last minute they switched it to He-Man. So sort of working out those details and figuring out the exact sort of timeline of when all that happened is probably the most surprising to me. Or like I've written I have one long resource which is like Masters of the Universe Timeline, which is basically taking dates from all the concept art that I've seen, dates from legal filings, patents, trademarks, everything. So, sort of doing that I was able to sort of picture, get a pretty clear picture about what happened when. It was not a Conan line that was just repainted for Masters of the Universe Conan.
Right.
He-Man, they started working on He-Man in about 1980, 79, 80. And then somebody independently at Mattel in mid-81, they reached out to the Conan folks. But the same designer who's doing He-Man, Mark Taylor, they also had him start to develop the Conan line at the same time. But it wasn't just a matter of, okay, let's repaint He-Man or Conan for He-Man. It was its own thing.
And,
right.
and wasn't it that the drawing we know now as Vicor in the classic line, that was the design for Conan? Yeah,
that is what we believe, that it was that was for Conan. Probably Demo Man was also. Demo Man isn't a Conan character per se, but that was probably something Mark Taylor created for that Conan line that never was, and it just never got used until the Motu Classics line.
Well, when you see a guy with a giant tank head, you got to know that they weren't thinking Conan at that point, right?
Right, exactly.
There's no Conan ripoff. Okay, so we've got a question here from Cutthroat Comics. I'll be interested in finding out from you, Adam, who your favorite figure in your collection is.
Oh, I don't know. It's tough. I mean, He-Man and Skeletor, obviously. One of my favorite. I'll just kind of show you really quick. This is kind of the centerpiece of my collection. This is. These are, the castle in the back is a custom piece that's based on the original Castle Grayskull prototype. And then I've got some Lords of Power, PowerCon figures here, and then some customs I did. So these are all based on the early mini comics and early prototype. And that's the closest, I'll come to owning those actual prototypes.
That is Excellent. A sweet setup.
Beautiful setup, yeah.
I like that it's not overcrowded. It's got just the right amount of characters on there that it really shows off each individually without it being too cluttered.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to have a cluttered Motu collection.
Oh, I don't know, Adam. I'll solo you, Adam, see how much of your collection. Adam, yeah.
That is pretty darn epic.
Very cluttered.
Yeah.
Well, it's organized. It's just there's a lot.
Yeah, right. It's a lot to take in.
Yeah.
I'll answer for my favorite Motu figure in my collection right now. Kabamo! Under Punch.
Comes out every show.
Well, it's the best damn He-Man ever.
Nice.
Hey, here's a question though. When he reverts back to Prince Adam, does the sword stay that color?
That's a good question.
I think it turned purple. As the toys never lied to us.
Oh yeah, it was a pink sword. Yeah. Pinky purple.
I'm with G-Force Racing. Web Store's my guy. So nice choice, G-Force.
He
You're a
just
two-man.
knows you're a fan. He's playing to you. He's playing to you, Phil.
He's sucking up to me.
Yeah. Hey, Heather Hodgins is here. Hey, I believe, Heather, that we share a similar taste in ice cream flavors. I'm a rum raisin man myself, so we'll have to go and grab some old people ice cream. Complain about the youth of today. But that collection leaves enough space to invite you to play, but not really. Don't touch it.
Fantastic. So I think my favorite. There he is. Why is it?
It's Castle.
My favorite non-He-Man Motu release figure would be Fisto. I think he was great. But I think my favorite figure in my collection is a custom one that I did.
Ooh, yes.
Oh,
something fell.
Somebody did watch the cliff.
But
oh, nice.
The Battle Armor Wondar hold the
Nice.
spot in my collection that I think is a lot of fun.
That's
That's good. I've never seen that. I've seen Battle Armor like Faker and other Battle Armor sort of customs, but not a Battle Armor Wondar. That's great.
Yeah. I love the story and myth of the Wondar, the Savage Red He-Man, like the whole thing that goes along with it. So one of my first custom was I'm gonna make a Wondar because I'm never going to afford it, and I don't think I could, in good conscience, have a Wondar in my collection, knowing what it's worth. I'm like, here's a car, like here it is.
Right.
It just doesn't sit well with me. And my wife is Dutch, it wouldn't sit well with her either. And so to make one, and then this custom just came to me, and I was like, and so he's I think my favorite figure in my collection right now.
That's cool.
That is pretty cool. Very
Do you
cool.
collect anything else? Sorry, do you collect anything else, Battle Ram blog, Adam, or are you just purely Motu in terms of your toy collection?
It's like 99% Motu, and then I've got in another room I've got some old Spawn toys, and that's it. I keep thinking like I did when I was a kid. I did like GI Joe, especially like from 85 to 88, 89 or so is when I was
We kind
into
of
that.
like GI Joe here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're kind
So
of a fan of-
I would love to collect that again. It's just, how do I collect it all? It's just prioritization and what can I afford right now?
one at a time.
Yeah.
How are you, Joe Fan 84? Hey, thanks everyone for jumping in and watching. Don't forget to leave a like, please. We'd super appreciate it. All the legends are doing it. So I want to touch while we still have some time. I want to touch on because I asked you during the week if you could pick 4 core figures and 1 vehicle, what would it be? So we'll get that from you, and then because I asked the guys to do the same thing, we're going to see if any of those match up to what you had, who got the closest, and we'll take it from there.
Without
All right.
going over, of course.
And it was supposed to be all the same faction, right? Like all heroes, all heroic
Well, it didn't
warriors.
have to be. We're not sticklers for the rules around these parts.
Okay, all right.
But it makes more sense. Do you?
So so the vehicle, battle ram, obviously, right?
Right.
So for the 4 figures, I picked Man at Arms, Fisto, Buzz Off, and then since I'm going to sub in Merman because I love Merman.
Nice. Okay. Who did you sub out in order to put Merman in?
I subbed out mclaughlin just because I always associate mclaughlin and Buzz Off together.
Oh yes.
But Merman's my favorite figure other than He-Man and Skeletor. So I'm bringing Merman in.
Merman was supposed to be a hero originally, right?
He was, yeah. That's or at least it kind of depends. I don't know if Mark Taylor, the designer, intended him to be a hero, but in the very first draft of the comics that were being written, when it was called Fighting Foemen, he was a hero. He kind of looks heroic too in the drawing. So maybe that's what Mark did intend. In some of the early marketing materials too, it's either ambiguous or in one of the French catalogs he's marked as a hero. So it was a little back and forth in the beginning for Merman.
Chat Champion Classified is throwing all the links in the chat. So do feel free to slap a subscribe on all these cool channels. And just so you know, I do have the Battle Ram blogs link in the channel description as well. So I have intentionally not gone through any of the pictures because I want everyone to go there and look at it. I could not do it any better than the blog is already doing. I would do it a disservice, in fact. So definitely go check it out after the show. So let's check out for our picks, who got the closest to Adam's pick. And Adam, I'll let you, we don't really have winners or losers here, but I don't want to lose this. But no, no, we don't have winners or losers. But I'd be interested to hear your opinion on which one wins. All right, let's do this. Okay. So we got, oh, actually, you know what? We'll start with Phil. This was your form.
Yep. So obviously, because I've got Adam on the show, I had to go with the Battle Ram, and I don't have much flexing power in my toy collection, but I do have a complete Battle Ram with box. So it's definitely one of my centerpieces in my Motu collection. And then I thought with the Battle Ram, I would go with all the brute strength, the heavy hitters. So I've got Man-at-Arms behind the wheel. He can change a flat tire too, hopefully, if they get into trouble. And then I've got Ram Man. You can probably tie him to the front as an extra weapon. And then, put him on the bumper bar. And then on the wings, I've got Clamp Champ. He's a beaut. And then I was actually going to pick Battle Armor He-Man, but after our deep dive of Rio Blast a few weeks ago with Shabby Geek, I've become a big fan of Rio Blast too. So he's got all the heavy artillery too. So I think these guys will go pretty well on the Battle Ram.
Yeah, so, I love it.
Was it just me, or did everyone pile as many figures onto the Battle Ram as possible?
Yep.
On the top,
one in the seat, one in the top, one in the back. Yep.
All right. Well, how many stars are we going to give this one, Adam?
Well, I mean, if it's just based on what I picked, he got 2, right? I love Ram Man too. I think that's a great pick. They all look like they'd be in like a buddy cop movie together. So.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get the business done. Yeah.
But just rating on how good is this team? Oh, man, like full marks, 100%.
Oh yeah. No bad pick. I like that you can convert this into a Battle Ram Man.
Yeah.
The fact that after you said that they didn't have a vehicle they could just lay Ram Man in as a torpedo.
Oh yeah.
But that seemed like a missed opportunity.
How many do you have? All the torpedoes for it, Phil? On yours, is it all complete?
Yep. Yeah, I've got the whole lot. Yeah, I think it comes with a spare one as well. So, yep, she's all there, and with Ram Man on the bumper bar too at the front. That's an extra missile too. So, can't go wrong. I think it's I think it's a great team.
It's going to be hard to top that, but we've got Adam's pick. Adam went. Tell us all about it, Ads.
So my He-Man growing up was always Battle Armor He-Man. That was the one that I got first, and so he's always the one that sticks out to me as He-Man. And I was like, as cheesy as it sounds, every good team needs He-Man. So I threw him up front. Moss Man was an early favorite for me. The commercial they had him hiding in the shadows, I was like, that's incredible. So he was like this stealthy kind of Sasquatchy guy. I love Sasquatch.
Yeah.
So, and as a kid, we talked about it a few times. Never occurred to me that it was Beastman's mold. I just like, oh no, it's Moss Man. Like it's a completely original figure. Like it didn't even register. So I love that. I've always loved Zodak. The idea of like his mysterious background. Some of the sci-fi stuff didn't really make sense in Motu in my mind, but Zodak did. The idea that he was like a cosmic. I thought he was a cool character, cool design. And so much so that you saw the influence in what I picked for the weapon and the story for Invador. So he's always been a favorite. And to me, my second favorite figure other than He-Man growing up was always Fisto. I thought he was just a cool guy. whatever happened to his hand, we don't know. Is it a glove? Is it a prosthesis?
Right.
We don't. But in a sword and sorcery line, he was the only other hero that had a sword. And so to me, it was a swordsman. And so Fisto was always the general, more so than Man-at-Arms when I was a kid. And the Wind Raider, to me, these guys are quick and they can move on their feet, but they can't be no one can fly. So having a flying vehicle made the most sense. Even though the Battle Ram's cool, I love the Battle Ram. The Air Raider, with its grappling hook, with everything, I loved everything about that vehicle.
Yeah, that's another good team. You've got, I mean, you can get Mossman sneaking up on people, you know, while Fisto attacks them from the front. Yeah, there's nothing not to like about this group.
Yeah. Yeah, Fisto is a good choice. I like a man with a beard. I don't know if that's obvious or not. But yeah, that is a good pick. Adam, I don't want to Man-Atom Arms, Adam. I don't want to out you, but is it still in play?
Is it in play?
So I'm talking to the GoFigure Adam here. He's got a bit of a.
Oh.
Do you know what I'm
that?
referring to? The Mossman situation.
Is it still in play?
Yeah,
It's still in play. It's still there.
Nice. Okay. Because I know Heather's watching. I don't want to say too much, but
I got you now. Okay.
Is it still in play?
Yeah, no,
I'll explain
100%.
later. Battle Ram Adam. It's going to be Battle Ram Adam and Man-Atom Arms, so we don't get confused. All right. So yeah, another top tier group. Look, you can't go wrong. Okay, I've got a confession to make, though, guys. I kind of cheated with my pick. I was originally going to go all vintage figures, but I've done a boo-boo and I've gone with some newbies. So this is my team. Kapow!
Oh,
Oh, you're cheating. What the?
unacceptable.
I couldn't help myself, so I threw the Sarge in there for obvious reasons. I put the Origins Man-at-Arms in there because of the mustache. I mean, if it's not a full beard, it's got to be a mustache. This is basically Fairy Force, because the vehicle of choice I've chosen is Battle Cat, which in itself is another character, so that's a bit of a cheat. And the only vintage piece in here is the figure in the front. Which I took from your website, Adam. Battle Ram. Just took that straight from yours. So it was such a clear image. I was like, okay, I'll use this. So thanks for that. So
Sure.
what are we thinking? Is this a winning team?
It's a winning team. I mean, if they're slacking off at all, the Sarge is going to get after them, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Sarge and Rio Blast. What a team up.
Every
Yeah,
chance
so
to get Sarge in there, eh?
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
Any chance you get.
I want to say this is a great team. It's unfortunately disqualified from the contest, but it's a great team. You did great.
You've got 3 mustaches in this team. This is the stash team.
Exactly right. And with the whiskers on Battle Cat, I was trying to think of who I would put as another mustached person. I almost put Jitsu in there. If I had to take Sarge out, I would have put Thunder Punch He-Man in there. But what a lineup. But yeah, I think I instantly disqualified myself for using Origins figures. Only one vintage in Rio Blast figure in the front and center, though. That's got to give me some points. But,
it just gives you 1.
1 point.
No, this is a great team, Zazel. It's a great team. Like I said, it doesn't count, but it's a great team.
It doesn't count. It's out. It's disqualified. Well, then I got to say between Man-Atom Arms and Phil, I mean, it's got to be a dead heat for first place, right?
That's pretty classic. All of them. They all look. I don't know, man. I'd watch a movie about any of this.
I think I need to bow out though, because I think Phil got the Battle Ram and Man-at-Arms, so that's a twofer. All I had was Fisto, and I'm not gonna Like, I get it. I get that we're all friends here, but I got to take the L. I got to take the loss. This is all Phil. This is Philator 100%.
Well done, Phil.
Jeez, I won something. That's a first.
I reckon the Battle Ram was the one vehicle, other than if we don't count Battle Cat and we don't count Battle Bones, that so everything I like have battle in it. Anyway, the Battle Ram I think got the most play for me.
So my biggest channel regret for my channel was I bought a real janky Battle Ram, actually from Wes, who was a guest on here one time when he had his store open. I got it for $10, and it was just bare bones, no spring, no stickers. It was all gross, and I didn't make a video of that restoration. But I got it looking mint now. I made new stickers for it. I put a new spring in it. I got middles for it, so it's 100% ready to go. And I'm like, I should have made that. I should have made that video, and I didn't. And so that's when I learned that. See, when I get a toy that needs to be repaired, I'm very eager to repair it. I get itchy. I'm like, let's get it done. But I'm like, no, just wait. Make a video of it. Let's share it with others so that they can, like the Silverhawk video I did last week. I had that guy on my desk for 3 weeks waiting to just get him done. And I was like, no, we got to do it. We got to do it right. So I regret not having a video of my Battle Ram restoration.
When I come to visit, Adam, I can just break it if you like.
So
just chuck it again.
We could just buy another one, actually, is the answer.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I won't break your toys. So, Adam, while we've got you just for a little bit more, I do want to see what your opinion is on the new Origin stuff and the Masters of the WWE Universe stuff. Did you get into any of that?
So yeah, Origins. Big time, definitely the PowerCon set, which was back with my custom little setup on that table. I do have a number of the Origins figures. I have a hard time looking because they're in the local Target stores here. If I see one that I don't have, I have a hard time not leaving with it.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, they're good. I always get a little OCD if for some reason like the colors are too off from the original. And that's true of a few of them, like the toy style Merman. These colors were just a bit off, but others like who's a good one? Like the new Snakeman that they did look pretty faithful to the originals. And I love when they do extras like the Roton that they put out, where you can look like the vintage Roton, or you can add a few pieces to it, and then it looks all of a sudden like the monogram model kit Roton. So
I had no idea about the model kits until that. I was like, "What is this look?" And then I looked it up on Battle Ram blog, and there it is. I had no idea that those model kits existed.
And the pilots from the model kits were the Fighting Foemen in Classics, correct?
Correct. Yeah. Those were just figures created by the artists to fill out the artwork, and then they made figures of them. Which I don't know if they were the most popular figures. I always liked the look of them though.
So, mustache on Man at Arms or no mustache on Man at Arms?
I go back and forth. I used to be all like no mustache ever, just because I was very much it has to be toy based, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm a little bit more back and forth on it. I do enjoy the original Filmation cartoon. What I want to see is a goatee, because the original concept art for Man at Arms, he had behind that the face guard, he had a goatee under there. So I want to see that too.
Yeah, actually, that would be pretty cool. Well, Gazz is giving all of us morning, afternoon, evening to you almighty legends on the screen and in the chat. Thumb kiss to you. So we've got you only for a short while more. Can you let us know what you've got coming up? A little bit more about where we can find you and other social media.
Yeah, so I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. All of my handles are Battle Ram Blog, just all together. That's the username for all of those. Coming up on the blog, I'm working on an article about Spydor, which I don't own, but it's one of the coolest vehicles.
Awesome.
I'm on, if anybody watches Toy Frenzy, it's a group of 4 guys. I'm on that they do Thursday night live broadcasts. So I'm on probably twice a month on that.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've got going on.
Beautiful.
Yeah, definitely go and check out the Battle Ram blog. I would be very surprised if anyone in the chat or anyone watching this isn't already reading that. I do go back to it quite frequently. Like you said, holding information, retaining information at this age, impossible. It's not happening. So I will often go back and read on things. I'm still often surprised at things, even though I've read it, like the Rio Blast thing. I'd looked at that like at least a dozen times. But then as we were talking about it on one of the previous shows, the concept art for that character, I had to go back and have another look at it because I'd completely forgot it was a completely different look for Rio Blast. So there's a lot of that stuff there where if you've looked at it once, look at it twice. Look at it 100 times. You're going to see all new things every time.
Yeah, it's funny, especially I'd say especially like once the line started getting more gimmick heavy, it was often they would it wasn't so much the character design wasn't about like a specific look for a character. It was they would just try out different looks based on whatever the gimmick was. So if you've got a guy who can bring guns out from every part of his body, that you can take that a lot of different directions, and they happen to end up on the cowboy look.
I think Extendar was really a construction worker originally.
Yeah, he looks more in that direction, which is a little random. I guess that goes with if you're going to do a firefighter, you can have a construction worker. You can have the whole YMCA crew, I guess.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah.
They all have to have animal heads if you're going to go that way.
Right.
You can't just have one with an animal head. Give them all animal heads. Have we got any more questions while we've got Adam here? We've got a few more minutes with Adam.
I just want to say, Adam, thank you for the work you've put in. As the guy who puts out Motu content and who loves the brand and loves the toys, your website, your blog has been an invaluable resource. So just thank you for the work you put in, and you're much appreciated. Yeah,
thank you. And it is in some ways, I write, 96% of the articles. I do have a friend, Yuka Isakainen, who's kind of joined me recently. He's writing some articles. The information comes from a lot of different sources. There are a lot of other experts in the community. So a lot of the concept art you see comes from the Power and Honor Foundation. I've gotten a lot of information directly from the creators. People will leave me comments of things that I haven't considered, or images that they've found. So it's kind of it is in a lot of ways a community effort too. I get a lot of input from others. So yeah, it's definitely not just a one-man show.
You've got an Instagram account too, right, Adam?
I do, yeah. Battle Ram blog is at Battle Ram blog is the username.
Well, that makes
Beautiful.
sense. Yeah, that's how I found you. Actually, thanks to some of the people in our chat from one of the last episodes, spouted out that that's how I could contact you there. So that's been thank you to the chat for helping that out. Entertaining ride to school. Have a great day. Thanks, Heather. Drive safe. The roads in Canada are a little wild, I hear. Wasn't Spout the firefighter? Correct.
Yes, he was.
He was the firefighter.
All right, so I will play a quick video. We do Space Commander, who is a regular on this channel. He does the little PSAs, public service announcements for this show, and he's done one for this show. So I'll play it now, and then we'll say our goodbyes after that. But I'll play it now for Space Commander. Thank you for Space Commander for doing this. Here we are, Space Commander with our episodes PSA.
Tonight, we had a look at Battle Ram, a He-Man blog. There are a lot of great websites out there, and people like Adam who put in the hard work so you and I can enjoy a stroll down memory lane. But remember, If you really want to show your appreciation, the easiest way is to make sure you give credit where credit is due. I know Zazel's put the link in the description. Isn't that right, kidette? Until next time.
Hey, Commander.
That was awesome.
That is correct, Space Commander. The link is in the description. Being a good cadet and making sure I leave a good impression for Space Commander. You must be so confused about what the hell a Space Commander is.
Slightly, a little bit, yeah.
Well, Adam, I know that you've got plans for the day, so we won't take up any more of your time, but I do want to say in the most sincere way, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I'm a big fan of what you do, and I'm so glad and humbled that you agreed to come and join us today.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. I'm glad to be able to chat with you gentlemen. Great podcast you've got, and thanks for inviting me.
I'm not normally this tongue-tied, but yeah, like I said, big fan.
It's great. And
yeah, really nice meeting you. And thanks for getting up at the crack of dawn.
Yeah,
sure. I wish I could go back to bed, but I've got too much going on.
Right. Well, lucky for me and Phil, we get to go to bed. You guys have got a full day ahead of you.
It's going to be great.
All right, well, we'll leave it there, fellas. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to Chat Champion Classified, who, as always, has dropped everybody's links in the chat. Thank you to everybody who has watched. Please do leave a like on the show. Go and check out Battle Ram blog and put what do they call it? Put the thingy on it. The bookmark it. You know, the internet. You know how the internet works. Bookmark it. Go back, check it out, share it with your friends. Check it out on Instagram, Twitter, and all of those cool places. Don't forget to check out GoFigure's channel as well. Subscribe over there so you don't miss the last episode. I believe, Phil, it's going to be on your channel next. Next. Yep. Are we all good for next week?
Possibly. Yep. Yep.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Probably.
All right. Well, with that, I will play our outro, which I guess I'll go this one. All right. Yeah. Goodbye.
Peace.